fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Cory Sanden, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Cory Sanden.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray. Rock Cod Rick Mexa is out of town. Cory Sanden's sick, and Brandon Boto, the world's greatest fisherman, is here with me today. And we have a great show to start 2025 for you, and our first time back on the fan here. We're excited to have Captain Al Clowers, local fishing guide here in San Diego. It's going to be a great show. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the 97.3 The Fan and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Do you have more to say? I'm sorry.
Hey, San Diego, the Ford Get
Sorry.
Holiday Ready sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. The biggest...
Yeah, I didn't know if you talked all the way to the end there. I'm so sorry. I got it now, though. Yeah. Yeah.
years. Or check out the full lineup of versatile Ford SUVs, including Bronco or Bronco Sport. Don't wait. Come
You can even turn yourself up a little more if you can.
to local San Diego County Ford dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father,
Brought the station down a little bit if that helps you.
Rocky and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now, you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWarmerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother, Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address, and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup right here on, for the first time back on 97.3 The Fan. Of course, we're back, of course, always on our Let's Talk Hookup app and YouTube and Facebook Live. Hi, everybody. If you're looking at the YouTube and Facebook Live. Rock Cod Rick's back enjoying some time off back in Tennessee.
Yeah,
He's actually listening on the Let's Talk Hookup app right now.
happy to fill his
Which
seat.
is cool. And yeah, so stoked you're here.
Stoked
Brandon.
to be here. Stoked to be with Captain Al Clowers.
Yeah.
And, it's a super exciting return back to 97.3 the fan.
Yeah, pretty stoked to have the world. I call him the world's greatest fisherman, Al, because he fishes kind of everything,
Right.
and does it all.
Hey, that's the only way to be. You got to know what's going on in the back bay, at the lakes, offshore, everything in between, right?
Got
Yeah.
to have it all there for sure. So what's been going on with Captain Al?
Captain Al is still doing the same thing after many years. Got the Riviera in service, and I have the Stringari bay boat in service. So we're doing little bay trips, bonefish trips, all the way to offshore, and during the season. But right now we're pretty much doing bay trips, little half days down off IB for sand bass and the Coronado Islands.
Okay.
Many people would think you live the dream life. You get to fish all year long for all sorts of different species and take people from all over the place and to experience this amazing fishery in San Diego.
Right. Yeah, it keeps me on my toes. It's unlike some. I have my finger on the pulse from the lake. I am guiding in the lake as well for the next three or four. This time of year with
so
the
you
offshore
kind of do
scene,
it all.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unique to you. You're good everywhere, and I see you at the lake. I see you in the back bay. If I go to La Jolla, you're there. You seem to be everywhere at all times.
Sometimes it's challenging to keep on track of it, but it keeps me feeling nice and young because it keeps me on the move.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yesterday I spent all day on the Stringari, dialing every little piece of tackle and getting it all.
You have
tricked
three different boats, right?
Right now I have three. Two saltwater, the Riviera, the Stringari skiff, and then my 20-foot Ranger for the lakes.
Ooh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice bunch of rigs there. So that Riviera is sweet. You've seen that.
Well, I prefer the Ranger. I love the lakes. I prefer that Ranger. I would sell my soul for that boat.
The lakes are biting pretty good right now.
Are they? Yeah.
Ochai, there's a boiling fish first hour and a half in the back.
Still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wednesday it's still bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
For January, that's amazing.
January?
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Not many lakes in this nation in January could you catch a busting fish.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're nice size. Those are all nice 3 to 2.5 to 4.5 pounders.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. And is it an all day opportunity thing?
No, it's just first that bites first thing in the morning.
Okay. And then after that, what do you typically do?
Then after that, I'll get on the meter and look for a nice jig bite right now, this time of year and go pitch them something really shallow because the big ones are up shallow too, So.
And the way the weather has been, it almost seems like I'm sure to the largemouth, it seems like we're already coming into spring. They're probably already thinking pre-spawn.
Right. Well, back in the day when Ochai used to be closed and we used to have the big old opening day ceremony and camp in the back of our trucks and stuff, that was in January.
Okay.
And they bit good on the bank.
Is that right?
And crawdad fishing was insane back in the day.
Now I'm sure you would never do anything like this, but was there ever a time you went in there a little bit maybe before it was open?
We
God, come on! Are you saying? What are you saying,
the legendary Captain Al Clowers would never
I don't
do
know if we
something
can
like that.
reveal that on Let's Talk Hookup.
Or you might see Brandon. You might see Brandon in back.
I've heard stories.
You've heard stories, right?
From
Back in the day, you have a
12-foot
car topper with a little 9.9 Merc on it. And you roll over to the shoreline and you slide that thing down there and you go double anchor on your crawdad spot.
Ooh.
And the first boat comes around the corner and you already got 3 or 4 in the boat. I was wondering how you got there.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I don't know, figure it out, but I'm staying here.
That away. So you've been out on the Riviera, of course. Rockfish in California just closed December 31st, and you take people out offshore islands and stuff like that. Now, for us here in San Diego, we can still fish rockfish in the Mexican waters. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I have been doing it.
Have you?
Yeah, we did a trip the other day and had limits for 5. I stayed up around North.
It's been
North
good
Island
quality, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm fishing like 325.
Yeah, shallow.
And that's it used to not be shallow.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
shallow.
It used to be quite deep. Yeah.
And I got the boat really dialed in for that stuff with all electric reels and everything.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. You get the kids, just give them a quick
Except you can't,
tune-up.
of course, you can't use those in Mexican waters, but you can use those in U.S. waters.
Well, we would never do anything.
We would never do that. Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But so we're running. I like to take people to the areas that are biting, and this time of year, it's an island trip, and never know, you might run over a school of yo-yo yellows down there.
Yeah.
I know they're down there. So,
Well, San Diego's been running, catching a few, right?
Yeah, and La Jolla, believe it or not.
La Jolla.
Right? Needle in a haystack trips.
Yeah.
Right.
Catch the right ones. Well, we'll hear later on in the show from Marcos.
So there's a lot of fishing to do. People ask me, how's the fishing? Fishing's always good. It depends if you're fish specific or not.
Yeah.
And that's one of the beauties of being as versatile as you are. There, if a client wants to book a trip with you, you have so many options, and you're good at all those things. There's never a bad time of year to go fishing with Captain Al Clowers.
Right. We're always there's always something to target.
Yeah. And those San Diego trips, it was kind of eye-opening. They started running those 7 to 3 local trips, coastal trips, and at the time, if you asked a lot of skiff guys, I'm sure they would tell you there wasn't much to catch. And Matt Bralla went out there and whacked the yellowtail locally.
Did he?
Oh, he did. Yeah. He had a good run. Like it petered out on him, I think, a little bit. But man, he really found them at a time of year where a lot of guys weren't catching much.
Was that yo-yo fish?
He had a little bit of everything. He had surface iron fish, yo-yo fish, fly line fish. Yeah.
Was he using a 2-fish jig?
Oh, of course. There's only one lure attached to the end of his rod. It's the best surface iron made, and that's called a 2-fish jig.
2-fish jig.
They were popping up every now and then. If you're there at the right time, you get a few casts on.
Yeah. So the bay, this time of the year, a lot of people kind of, it's always nice in the bay. And what do you catch this time of the year?
Right now, sand bass, spotted bay bass, halibut, bonefish, bay sharks, kind
of a little bit of everything.
A little bit of corvina. I got a report the other day of a guy caught 5 corvina on the spook.
Oh, is that right?
Like 8 days ago.
On the surface?
On the surface, yeah.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite things to do, but I don't really do it too much for clients because there's a lot going on with too many people.
And what boat do you take in the bay?
Well, both. So if you like luxury and you have more than 3 people, or if you have less than 3 people and you just want to go on a really nice boat, you take the Riviera, but you don't fish the back bay, right? Because it's too skinny.
Yeah.
But we fish 3/4. I can get to 3/4 of it. And then if it's more economical budget, and you have 2 or 3 kids or 4 people, we take the Stringari and, we fish the back bay and everywhere else in the Stringari too. So it's a matter of what they want. They have options. If they want luxury, nice boat, no matter what we're doing, Riviera. If they want to get in that skinny water, then you have to take the Stringari. Or if you're on a budget. It's only,
you don't take the Ranger in saltwater.
I take it out there for my own personal use. But I don't want to have to go through all the permits for that boat. All the other ones are permit.
I see.
Here at Captain Clowers charters were 100% legit. Right. So, which is a bummer because I live in National City, and if I had the Stringari on a trailer, I'd go to Pepper Park and fish the back bay on about 3 gallons of gas. But I'm in Marina Cortez with the permit, so I have to go all the way from Marina Cortez to the back.
Yeah. So what? That's one thing we should mention is there's a lot of illegal charters in both San Diego and Mission Bay, and so make sure when you book a charter that they are legit. How do you make sure if you're booking a charter? How do you make sure that guy's legit? How do you make sure this is
the basic stuff is the captain's license, insurance, charter insurance, and they can show you because they have to have it with them.
Because you have to have insurance.
San Diego Bay, you need a port permit, right, for the port tax, and there's a sticker for that, and it goes right on the side of it.
It's on the boat, right?
It's visible by their FG numbers, right? So those are the main things. Mission Bay. They're supposed to have a something through the city. I'm not up to speed over there. But
city versus port.
Right. And main thing is if you get a charter and they guide you to a launch ramp, that's a big old red flag.
Is that right?
Cannot charter off a launch ramp. Cannot pick up at a launch ramp.
Oh, no kidding. You have to pick up from
a marina that has it in their master lease, so everybody's covered when they're walking down the dock, right? So I get inquiries a lot to go pick up at different ramps, but I can't. It's illegal, and there's signage everywhere.
Yeah. Now I know a lot of charters pick up right here at Fisherman's Landing, right, Brandon?
Right, and that's a marina with a master lease for everybody, as soon as they walk on that dock there, everybody's insured, so there's double insurance.
Sure, and unfortunately, in these days, you know, the El Nino era brought forth a lot of these, you know, younger guys or guys from out of town that decided to run these illegal charters, and you know, and unfortunately, at Fisherman's Landing, we've seen just it become prevalent when the fishing is really good. All of a sudden, these guys come out of the woodworks, and all of a sudden, they're trying to pick up passengers from our dock. But if you know, do your due diligence and you attempt to seek out like a vetted guy, a top level guy, a guy like Al Clowers, that's really what you should be doing. If you're looking on, you know, Craigslist and you're negotiating for $50, you know, to go out on some random,
that's got to be illegal.
It 100% of the time that guy is illegal.
Right. And if something was to happen on the trip, you're not covered with insurance. You know? So these guys that have the captain's license and have the insurance and everything, but they don't have a port permit in San Diego, their insurance ain't going to cover them on a charter.
And here's the other thing too, is if you get stopped by
the
law
Coast Guard
enforcement officers,
right.
your day is over.
Right.
Because they'll put that guy away and you lost the money.
And it's a real bummer, man, because I feed my family with my fishing, right? I mean, I'm a full-time
that's your job,
fishing charter guide,
right?
With a actually a guide license as well.
Yeah.
And to see this happening, the way I look at it, they're taking food out, you know, off my table.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, now what about the lakes? Do you need permits on the lakes?
And then lakes, you have to have a guide's license and the proper insurance.
Yeah, the proper insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. Through the city.
Through the guide's license is through the Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have to have a bond.
So you got to buy a lot of permits every year.
Oh yeah, I just put the Stringari back in. It was like $4,000.
Wow. Yeah. So
the slip, then the last month's slip, the deposit.
Now, do you have backup guys?
Fishing game numbers.
Yeah. Do you have backup guys? Well, you can't be on all three boats at once.
No. But right now, whatever comes in, I run. You know.
Wow.
So
you're a busy guy.
Yeah. So
so how does somebody book a charter with you?
I'm looking for some guys. You know?
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I'm looking for I need a deckhand or some right now deckhands because it's, you know, I can't retain somebody right now with a trip or two a week.
I'm sure there's a lot of young guys out there that could benefit greatly from learning under your tutelage. And
in the past, that's how it's been. You know Trevin that's running the Royal Polaris.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yeah,
he started working with me when he was not working. He started pinheading with me when he was 13.
Well, that's cool.
And he worked with me from 13 to 18 every day off of school, every summer, everything.
And look at him now.
And he called me and says, "Hey man, I really want to go long range fishing. What can you do for me?" I said, "Let me call Roy." So I called Roy and set up an appointment with Roy. And I told Roy, I said, "This is a needle in a haystack kid right here. He won't let you down." And we met at In-N-Out Burger in El Cajon, and the rest is history.
Well, that's pretty cool. Too cool. Yeah.
And now he's running trips on the big boat.
On the big boat.
I worked that kid. That was back when it was really busy too. And he's one of the greatest kids around. That's cool.
That's cool. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. We're thrilled to be with you now, of course, on 97.3 The Fan, as well as our YouTube and Facebook Live, and of course our Let's Talk Hookup app. I want to thank Backbone Broadcast, my friend George, who's helped me put that all together this last couple of weeks. It hasn't been an easy project.
I bet not.
And if you look at the YouTube and Facebook, you can see we have a lot more equipment in here, and I'm pushing a lot more buttons. So it's a learning experience, but we're making it through this first show.
Well, you're doing a great job, and I'm exciting
I'm
day.
You're here too.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. And as you can hear, Al's brought great gifts.
We have a true
to start the new year.
We have a treasure trove of giveaways today. So one lucky caller or texter will win a full day trip aboard the San Diego from C4 Sport Fishing. Plus, Captain Al has brought in SoCal Fishing Maps binder. This is a binder that contains every map of Southern California and all the spots, all the structure, all the MLPA zones, as well as he's offered up a 1-year subscription to Your Saltwater Guide. Dave is another pro out there. You guys, are the experts of SoCal, and this is just a big pool of prizes for one lucky caller or texter.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, whoever wins is winning a big bundle, man.
Yeah.
Your prescription, Your Saltwater Guide, that map,
Yeah.
and a day fishing.
Now, Dave says that's worth $700 that year
Oh
subscription.
yeah, that's what he told me this
And you
morning.
believe him?
At least.
Yeah, I believe
At
it.
least.
At least. Well, the good thing is he gets to see you on there.
Right.
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 Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to take your phone calls. You want to get through? 833-288-0973 is the brand new phone number. 833-288-0973. Our friend Jeff is standing by the phones. He'll be taking your phone calls. 833-288-0973. The texts are starting to pour in, so text us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice, the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
24 years ago, I visited this amazing place called Hawaii Archipelago. I just could not get enough of this amazing islands. Natural beauty, friendly people, and phenomenal fishing. I knew I needed to spend more time there. Moving forward to today, here I am, a fishing lodge owner. Hi, this is Valerie Hopridge from Queen Charlotte Safaris in beautiful Hawaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. We're a boutique lodge just steps from the Sanskrit Harbor, offering truly a unique fishing adventure. Our fishing is world-class. You will fish for king salmon, halibut, lingcod, crabbing, and much more. Our fishing grounds are unspoiled, untouched, and surrounded by stunning scenery. We're dedicated to making your venture an experience that will bring a lifetime of memories. We will welcome you as friends, and you will leave as part of our Queen Charlotte Safaris family. We are booking now. Please give me a call at 1-877-815-2892 or check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or visit our website, qcsafaris.com.
Wait, a 40-pound white sea bass off an inflatable Hobie kayak? Tell me about that.
I'm Logan from Fastlane Kayaks on Mission Bay, and the whole story began when Ron Lane lent my parents some Hobie Mirage iTrex to put on their boat and take out to Catalina Island. That's when I borrowed the iTrek 11, threw it in my car, and drove down to Baja for a fishing and camping trip. Ended up landing a bucket list 40-pound white sea bass on the inflatable.
Dang, that sounds even better than our mammoth trip. When we packed up the kayaks in the car, snowboarded all morning, then drove down to the lakes, launched the iTrex, and fished for trout all afternoon.
Honestly, the iTrek inflatables are the ultimate fishing platform. From trout in the Sierras, calicos at Catalina, and white sea bass in the Sea of Cortez, they can do it all.
And we've documented all these trips, so check out Fastlane Kayaks on Instagram to see more. And if you think you want a kayak, but you're on the fence, come down to our shop. We're right on Mission Bay, and we would be happy to throw one in the water and let you give it a try. So call Fastlane Kayaks to schedule a demo today.
Gas prices are going up, up, up. So now more than ever, you need Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. Pull up to the newly expanded Summit Gasoline and get low gas and diesel prices for your car, truck, and boat. They can now accommodate 24 cars and trucks to fuel at the same time, plus 12 diesel boats, plus 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum 35-gallon fill-up. Easy in and out, too. Step into the Summit Bistro and enjoy what Martha and her crew have for you on things you can use. Fresh-made burritos, sandwiches, salads, along with beer, beverages, and of course, always free ice. So many Let's Talk Hookup listeners have taken advantage of Summit Gasoline's low prices, great service, and free ice. They have become the largest seller of fresh gourmet ice in Southern California. Summit also sells frozen bait and fishing licenses 24 hours a day. Summit Gasoline, low prices, friendly staff, free ice, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
All you need is a platform.
You're on, Brandon.
Well, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, where we get so excited in these breaks and we just get to talking fishing. We forget that we're back on the
live.
97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, for sure. So just so for your knowledge, so first hour on Saturday is on 97.3 The Fan. Both hours on Sunday, 7 to 9 a.m. are on 97.3 The Fan. The rest, all the hours, 7 to 9 on Saturday, 7 to 9 on Sunday, are, of course, always on our YouTube and Facebook Live and always on our Let's Talk Hookup app, streaming live. Of course, archives are always going to be available after the show, so you can listen on demand anytime. But one thing I want to mention is we had a few texts from people that say they're still hearing 1090 on their listen live button on their app. Reload your phone. Shut your phone down, start it back up, reload it. I confirmed it's working just fine. Adam, our main man on the app, worked it. But so what's happening is you're hearing old content on your phone. So you need to shut your phone down. I know I'm old, man. I don't know all this tech stuff, but you just shut your phone down,
I'm
restart
impressed.
it, and then you'll hear the listen live, and then you hit listen live again on the open up the Let's Talk Hookup app again, listen live, and you'll hear what's going on. So,
Yeah, and the app's amazing. Where
Yeah.
there's texts coming through the app that are
Yeah.
just flowing with great
yeah,
questions.
yeah. And of course, our second hour today,
Mm.
that's the way we're going to, because we don't have any phones on the second hour.
Sure.
So of course, that's what we're going to hear you on is on the app. So we're going to talk to you on the app via the text. So back and forth. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Looks like we have some new callers there. Let's go ahead and get started on the fan with a call here.
Let's talk to
Brandon.
David.
David.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
Hey, David. Thanks
Morning,
for joining
David.
us.
David.
Hey, Pete, gents, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, great show this morning. Welcome to the new transition. Looking forward to the new show.
All right. Thanks, David.
Hey, I just wanted to throw out a quick invitation for our CCA California San Diego chapter. We got a new event coming up here on January 16th. It's Anglers Night Out. We're doing it at Calafino Tequila in Carlsbad. It's going to be a great event. It's a $30 entry. We got food from Firehouse Q and Brews. We're going to have vendors, mixers, and some good information coming out from Michael Rabb from Go to the Pacifics. Your entry includes 3 free drinks and some good raffles that are going to be going on. So we got some great stuff going on this year with CCA and in the San Diego chapter. We look forward to having everybody come through and participate in these things and support this great cause.
Yeah. So the other thing too is you have a great cinematographer named Michael. Is it Robbie?
I believe so, Michael
Yeah.
Rabb.
Yeah. And he's going to be making a movie called The Ghost of the Pacific, a white sea bass story. Which
Wow.
that sounds super cool. And
Yeah.
you're going to be premiering that night at Calafino Tequila, right?
Yeah, amazing cinematography, man. This is just amazing, just the stuff that comes through on that.
Well, thanks for all your hard work, David, with CCA CCA California San Diego chapter. Appreciate what you do. And yeah, so that's on Thursday, January 16th, 4 to 7 p.m. And you get some shots of tequila.
Now, do people just show up, or do you
They
get
got a
tickets ahead of
great
time?
mixologist there making drinks. And it comes with 3 tickets included in your $30 entry. You can look it up at ccacalifornia.org. Go to the events page. We also got another one coming up on May 17th. I don't want to polish your brass here, but hey, we're honoring you here.
You're honoring the great
As,
Pete Gray.
Oh boy,
we're honoring Pete Gray.
Well, he deserves it. There's nobody in this.
San Diego Chapter Beacon Award at our Apps and Taps event.
Well, that's awesome. And where would that be held?
That's going to be at Marina Village in the Baja Room on May 17th, 4 to 8 p.m. I believe the hours are.
And
We're looking forward to
that's May
hosting this
18th.
and- yeah, May 17th, the Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay.
Well, count me in. I there's no place I would rather be on May 17th.
Oh, thanks, Brandon.
than honoring
Cool.
the great Pete Gray.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
well,
that's
thanks.
gonna be a
Nice
good
of you
one.
guys to do that. Appreciate that. All right, David. Well, thanks. Yeah, the app, that great event up at Calafino Tequila in Carlsbad. Check it out. CCA California. .org on the events tab. You can see all the information on that. And thanks, David, for reminding us of that. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate that. Our very first caller on the fan there, and very first with our new systems here. So nice to always hear from Jeff there. I have a great text from John in Ranch San Diego. It's a little bit long, but I'm going to read it anyway because it's a good one. He says, great to hear and fun show to hear. Captain Al, Al, you're great with kids and fishing the San Diego Bay, which is something we haven't really talked about yet. I have a 5-year-old grandson, and we've started fishing half-day trips on the bay together already. I've got him started on a spinning reel with a 7-foot rod, but wondering when do you think he should start learning to throw a bait casting conventional reel? What do you think are the most important things to do to keep our kids interested in fishing? Good for you, Dave.
How old is he? Did you say how
He
he's
said
5?
5.
5? Well, I have 5 grandkids from 10 to 2.
Wow.
And the 3-year-old's already starting to cast a bait caster. You know, with that, earlier the better. You know, short spurts of lessons at the house. Lock the side spool down, you know, the free spool a little bit, put a heavy weight on them and let them get familiar with it, you know, and keep a pair of scissors in your pocket for backlash.
Sure, yeah, inevitable.
and be prepared, you know. And then San Diego Bay, on the right conditions, is the place to take them to get them hooked on fishing. I've taken thousands of kids out there, first timers, moms with boys that like love to fish. And San Diego Bay is the kids' wonderland.
And the rig would be what? For
the
fishing
easiest bait to use. I'm kind of sponsored by them, but I fish a spinning rod with 15-pound braid, and depending on if the big sand bass are around or not, I change the top shot, but 15-pound top shot to a 1/2 ounce kaolin round jig head with a 3-inch Berkeley gulp shrimp in natural or new penny.
Ooh.
And the reason that works mainly in the channel, not in the back. It works a little bit in the back, but the deeper water, the 40-foot area, and that stuff catches everything. Thousands of different. I mean, there's days we catch 150 fish on that thing.
The Berkeley gulp.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is once they start buzzing around the boat a little bit and don't want to hold the rod, you stick that thing in gear and the rod holder, and next thing you know, it's
they go down.
man. You know,
that Berkeley gulp is a cheat code sometimes. You know, anytime I take my gal out on my skiff and we go fish the bay, I tie her on one of those the exact same setup essentially, and she just casts it out, doesn't particularly work it or do anything, and every once in a while that rod just doubles over. And on certain days, she might outfish me, you know.
No, it's pretty
and
deadly.
what size lead head are you using, Brandon?
Well, depending on the depth that you're fishing, anywhere from a 1/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce,
Okay,
typically.
so pretty small.
And then once the tide's over 5 foot, it's a little tougher, you know.
Yeah.
If you're making your own lead head,
So that's on tides that are like 2 to 4 feet.
No, tides that are like 3.5 foot to
That's
5
perfect,
foot. You know,
That's a
3
perfect
foot
tide.
you can get away with it, but ultimate tides around 4-ish, 4.5, 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the texter's question, I would be fearful at the age of 5 to maybe push the bait caster yet on them. If you were to the newer reels that are out available on the market, the Shimano, from an SLX DC to a Corrado DC, any of these reels that have electronic brake systems on them, you could essentially, even for a 5-year-old, make it castable for anybody and for anybody to learn on. But at 5, backlashes are going to come hot and heavy, and you're potentially going to frustrate them away from fishing. That's what would be my fear.
Yes.
So maybe keep them with the spinning gear, nice 7-foot rod, nice spinning reel. You give them that gulp shrimp on a lead head, and they're just going to catch fish and have a good time. And one of the upsides of that gulp is it catches everything. There's not a species in the bay, which there's so many species in the bay. Everything eats a gulp shrimp.
Right. Halibut, corvina,
bonefish,
mackerel, bonita. Yeah, all of it.
All of it.
Bonefish.
That's so cool.
Hey, but going back to that, so I agree on the bait caster, but what I would do is I would expose him to it in short spurts so he doesn't get frustrated. And then once he gets a little bit older, what I do with my grandkids, because I take them to the lake. They like to go to the lake because they can wind around. The boat's full of different stuff. They just start winding stuff around everywhere. It drives me crazy. So lately I've been telling them, okay, you guys get a backlash. You sit down right there. You grab the scissors or you try to get it out. If you can't get it out, you take your scissors, you cut it out, you fix up your rod all by yourself. And the 10-year-old and the 8-year-old are doing that now.
I bet it doesn't take them long before they're experts at it. At the same age, I was doing the same thing, and then
and now you're the world's greatest fisherman.
Well, sure. And I'm still picking out backlashes.
Right? Oh yeah.
All these years later.
Thanks for the good text. Hey, if you want to get through, 833-288-0973. Let's jump back on the phones, Brandon.
All right. Well, we have a bunch of phone calls, but we do have a couple lines still open. Let's talk to Tom. How you doing this morning, Tom? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great, Tom. It's wonderful to hear from you.
Yes, and I appreciate your clean-cut look, Brandon.
Well, I did that for you, Tom. I knew you were watching me.
That's right.
He's the best dressed fisherman in this room. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for the captain. What can you update us on local yellowtail fishing?
Local yellowtail fishing. Well, they've been catching a few up in La Jolla on the yo-yo iron and surface iron if you're at the right time in the right place. down at the islands, I was down there the other day. I didn't run over any schools or anything, but they're definitely around. It's the hardest time of year to catch them. If you're willing to look at the meter all day and try to find a school and then wind yo-yo irons around, you spend all day looking for them, you might get bit up in La Jolla.
There you go. Yeah, that's been a few up there. And
that's for right now. But
Are they still following the boats?
what was that?
Sea lions.
Yeah, sea lions are always on our tail. Yeah, but if you're yo-yo iron fishing and stuff like that, it's a little bit more user friendly. You put a bait in the water, it's tough. But.
Tom, if you're fishing in Southern California or even Northern Baja, anywhere,
Or in Alaska.
anytime, in Alaska, if you're fishing in the Pacific Ocean, sea
You're
lions
gonna
are
have
going to be an
sea
issue.
lions,
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning, Tom. Appreciate that very much. Hey, Brandon, you have a great text, huh?
I do have a great text, and there's been a bunch of them flowing in. Here's one. It says, "Morning, guys. Great show. Question for Captain Al. What is your favorite fish to catch? And do you have a bucket list trip that you want to go on?" And that's from Matt in Apple Valley.
Oh,
wow, that's a good one. My favorite. Well, I don't per se have a specific favorite fish to catch. You know, I like catching them all.
There must be.
One of my funnest things I like to do at home here is in the summertime is put the Ranger in the water on a nice night when there's no wind. And go throw the spook around in the bay for corvina.
Oh, how cool is that?
The blow ups on that spook are insane.
See, I've never done that.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done that.
Night.
I've never been in a boat and fished a spook or a top water bait for.
And is that year
for
round?
corvina.
It can be, but mainly in the summer when they're a little more
Back
hungry.
bay or anywhere in the
back bay on the beaches, basically.
And do you get
you throw that thing right up on the beach, man, an inch of water.
Do you typically get bigger bites when you're doing that?
Not necessarily.
No?
Sometimes you get more bites at night. You know,
the cool part of doing something like that is it's a super unique fishery. Almost nobody does stuff like that, and on any given cast, you might catch the world record,
right?
Because that's where it lives.
Yeah.
The world record is right
I
there. Totally, and that's the way.
Now, is that an orange mouth corvina?
For a short fin corvina?
It's corvina. Like I think the world record is 10-4 or something like that.
Yeah,
and you think it's in there?
Caught on a spook in the back bay, and there has been fish. You know, a lot of local guys claim to have caught the world record, quote unquote, you know, and have a picture of their phone of a great big one, and almost always they're caught on a topwater. But you know, if you're going to do the whole thing, you gotta weigh it. It has to be on an IGFA certified scale, and it's a matter of time because they're back there. Somebody's catching a 12-pounder. Somebody's going to catch.
About I don't know, 2 months ago, I have a client that I do guide trips with and teach him on his boat and stuff that lives in the Cays. And I got there a little early. I was grabbing the rods and my spook rod was right there. I'm like, man, let me take that thing. So I took it just to kind of show him, you know, what's going on. So I walked down to the dock in the Coronado Cays, and the first cast down the gut of the Isleway, I caught a 8.2.
Oh, wow.
Corvina.
Right in front of him in the first cast. He could not believe it.
Wow. I would be in disbelief too. And that goes to what I'm saying. There's world-class, world record potential back there, and it's just a matter of time. And if I was betting my money on anybody, I'm betting on Captain Al Clowers. And to the secondary question that this gentleman had, do you have a bucket list trip that you want to go on that you haven't done yet?
You know, Alaska. I've never been to Alaska.
Oh, we got to get you there.
I have a lot of guys have worked for me over the years. You know, I had a guy come down from Alaska thinking he was going to make us a setup in San Diego.
You want to do a saltwater trip or you want to do a freshwater trip?
Well, the ultimate trip would be a little bit of everything. I'd like to do one of them fly-ins, man.
Yeah.
Go fly in and catch some trout back
We'll have to
there,
get you not only to Kingfisher Charters, but also Katmai Lodge, which Brandon got to go to last year, right?
I've been so fortunate. Let's Talk Hookup sent me to both places, and both places blew my mind. You know, and they're totally different. So opposite. You know, one's the all you can catch saltwater buffet at Kingfisher in Sitka, and then at Katmai Lodge, what an experience from the bears to the every species of salmon to the moose to the everything. It was just
fish running between your legs.
That's probably way cool. That's
It's
up my alley. I've seen a lot of water, and I've caught a lot of saltwater fish. And
Yeah.
I mean, you go out there one day, do that, and then go do 3 days in the
Sure.
backcountry. You know what I mean?
And it's so different than anything I've experienced from a kid from San Diego, California. I never thought I would be anywhere that looks remotely close to that place. And what a gorgeous and what an amazing outfit they have. They're from top to bottom.
From
It's
the middle of
first
nowhere
class.
too,
In
right?
the middle of nowhere. You have
Yeah.
to take a tiny little plane to get there. Yeah.
How cool is that? That's what I'm looking for.
Even landing on that dirt runway is a little.
You know,
yeah.
I had all my
I've
fingers and toes
I've
curled.
had some invites from a couple of captains that came down and work with me from Alaska, and now they're back up there running their own deal. I just struggle with the timing because I'm so busy down here.
Well, yeah.
I'm getting
You
older.
gotta. You
I'm
know
getting
what?
older. I
Al,
just
we're not
need to
getting any younger. You
I
gotta
just
go
need
do
to
it.
get coverage and go.
There you
know?
go. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have a lot more for Captain Al. We're going to have Catch Report from Mark and Marcos. You stay tuned. This is Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express
Pete, I'm running to the restroom. I'll be right back.
that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
This is Bob Hoots at Costa Sunglasses. Visual signs are a critical part of my fishing program, from bay bass to bluefin. I wear Costas to see what's out there. Costas are built with advanced polarization technology with our 580 lens, designed to cut through the sun's glare while providing enhanced color to see more fish. Costa was founded by a group of anglers wanting a high-performance lens for every fishing application. Costa has a West Coast style frame and lens for your adventures. CostaSunglasses.com.
I've had the opportunity to fish many places in many different types of water, but never have I fished a place as much fun as Katmai Lodge in Alaska. Hello, my name is Harold Davis, typically fishing in the ocean, but this is an experience that you have to try for yourself. Fish natural rivers with tens of thousands of fish.
I'm here.
And they have all the gear: spinning, bait casting, fly rods, kings, silvers, pinks, sockeyes, and my favorite, the chums. Outstanding food, outstanding accommodations, great service. The lodge is located in the beautiful Katmai National Park, filled with amazing wildlife. Brown bears, moose, eagles, otters, and it has spectacular scenery. And also the fact that the lodge is located right on the Alagnak River and your boat is just steps away from your room makes it great. Do yourself a favor. Call Charmel at 1-800-330-0326 or go online, katmai.com. And like Pete says, they will hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup here on 97.3 The Fan, the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, streaming. Hey, great to have Captain Al on the show. And Brandon, you having fun?
Just having a blast. I love being here at the sport fishing capital of the world and the sport fishing headquarters with Captain Al Clowers. There's nowhere I'd rather be.
Yeah, for sure. And Al, it's really fun to start the new year and the new station and the whole new look of Let's Talk Hookup here, off with Captain Al, because Al's been our friend for many, many years, for sure. So
yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me, you guys. Overlooking the sport fleet.
Yeah.
Nice and crispy.
It's a good
cool
spot.
morning this morning. No wind.
Yeah, you know, the Fan has a great studio, and we've been there. It's a beautiful studio, but there's nothing that beats the
Yeah,
world
you have the
headquarters,
best
right?
studio of anybody.
This is a pretty good
Yeah.
studio right
Yeah.
here, and we've got all the equipment. And thanks a lot of people helping us out for sure. And we have a caller, so let's go ahead and jump into that. If you want to get through, Jeff's standing by at the Fan there, 833-288-0973.
Let's talk to Gus this morning. How you doing this morning, Gus?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm glad I got through to you guys.
I've been waiting all morning to talk
I
to
just
you
called
guys.
to ask Al what his favorite inshore rigging for halibut would be.
Oh, I was driving down here, and the last time I was here, they asked that question too. You know, I really don't have a favorite because there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different, or 9 or 10 different ways to catch them.
A lot of way to skin a cat. Yeah, for sure.
So live bait wise, you know, a reverse drop drop aloof with a big mackerel and a stinger hook, or a sardine and a stinger hook. Right now we have the chovy. I guess favorite, I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to catch them, we're trolling around crankbaits on lead core now, in the 13, 14-foot water column. But so my favorite would be dragging around reaction baits, slow trolling with lead core line or with bait, And there's you can do a double swivel thing where you tie the weight to a 18-inch piece of line to a swivel, and then you slide that up your main line, and then right at the end of the main line you tie another swivel, so when the fish eats the bait, they're not feeling the weight. It's kind of like a reverse draw slider. It's like a slider rig. That's very efficient as well, because the fish does not feel that big weight when he bites it.
And that lead core that you're talking about, lead core and hard plugs for halibut, that's an old school technique, but a lot of people don't know about it, and it's kind of slept on. It's so effective for halibut. It's kind of tricky. There is definitely a learning curve to it, but when you get all the stars aligned, what an effective way of catching certainly bay halibut.
Right. And you got to, you have to have the main thing is you got to look at the water and make sure it's clean and there's no eelgrass floating all around. You got to fish it in clean water, and sometimes that doesn't line up with where the bait and the fish are at.
And when it comes to halibut, I keep it so simple. I grew up fishing a Carolina rig. And, all these years later, I still, if I'm going to target a halibut, I fish a Carolina rig. I try to go get some anchovy if the bait barge has them, whatever appropriate sliding sinker to a swivel, to a 3-foot leader, to a single J hook. And if I'm getting short raked and getting a lot of short bites, well, then I might put a stinger treble hook on the back of the chovy or sardine that you're fishing.
Dude, these are gems here. We're learning a lot here. But let's find out what's biting out there. The catch report today, Brandon.
The catch report, Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop. It's brought to you by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. A complete deli, beverages, boating supplies, as well as one of San Diego's most complete saltwater tackle shops. Also, check out East County Bait and Tackle and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, with the best in both freshwater and saltwater tackle, along with live bait. Dana Landing is next to the Dana Landing launch ramp in Mission Bay. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway in Lakeside, and Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove. Check out danalanding.com for more information.
All right. Captain Mark Wish, your private boater buddy, with our fishdope.com report, is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Brandon, Al.
Good morning.
I hope your ears were ringing.
Happy New Year.
We've been singing your praises all morning.
New time here, new station, new year, a few new problems.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff going on.
Getting it all straightened out here.
I didn't hear you there. I can't read you guys real strong on this channel here, but so here we are with the new year. You guys got to be aware. You've already been talking about it, but no more rockfish, guys. You get whitefish, sculpin, all that other stuff. It's closed here for a little bit. We're going to give them a rest. And oh man, I just got all discombobulated.
You're doing great. You're doing great. I'm following you.
But don't forget about getting a new fishing license. I've had guys coming in that don't even know we're on a new system.
Yeah.
In terms of the length of the licenses now. So if you're normally used to buying one at this time of year, you want to go make sure that you do that. Now, in terms of fishing, it's winter time, and fortunately we're getting out of the holiday season, which lets everybody's enthusiasm start ratcheting it up. It's just amazing how the start of the new year gets everybody all ready to get motivated. We're already getting a lot more reports, and that's pretty cool. So along the coast, not a whole lot different, pretty much status quo. We got sculpin and whitefish on the hard bottom, sand bass fishing a little slow. The water up in this area really rolled with that big swell we had, so kind of turned it over, made it a little tougher on the bass fishing. But nothing meaningful from the outer islands right now. Weather's been less than ideal. But Catalina's a whole nother story, guys. The past few years, it's kind of a slower start on the bigger grade sea bass. But, back in the old days, we used to catch a lot of them at this time of year. And this season, it feels more like that. There's a lot of squid around. Squid just about everywhere over at the island right now. All the stock spots scattered all up and down the front and the back. And the past week or so, 10 days maybe, some really nice catches of sea bass, including some big ones, 50 pounds plus. And I've seen the pictures. These guys ain't lying. And I've not heard of any fish on the bait grounds. It's all been up shallow. It's kind of fishing the edge of structure, fishing that off-color water. You want to find a little bit of current, and you want to fish heavy tackle because that grade of fish, this is not like little 8 to 12 pounders we see. A lot of this is really big fish. So get that heavy tackle out for when you're fishing that squid up there shallow. This is also the time of year over at that island we start seeing some signal on the home guard yellows out there on the deep water structure, really opposite of what's going on with the sea bass. Haven't really heard much about it yet, but again, we've had so little coverage through the holiday season, and with the weather, that's all going to change here now. So we'll be looking forward to a lot more reports coming in, and we'll be talking more about that deep water yellow and how to fish that at this time of year, as well as fishing those sea bass over there. If you guys want to get a little idea on how to do all that, I wrote a little book called In the Gray about fishing Catalina and the other islands there offshore. So
it's good
that'll
stuff.
help you out a lot. So that's this week's report, first one of the new year. Looking forward to a whole new season and all the cool stuff that's going to happen as we get into this year here.
Yeah, and of course, fishdope.com has all the stuff. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. Hookup Now, your $30 code. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, Pete, we're in Huntington Beach. The store's on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger, right there by that big Chevron station. And the phone number at the store is 714-840-4262. The website's pacificedgetackle.com. And, man, it's time to go fishing, guys. Get that new year started off right.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
Appreciate that very much. And we will talk to you next Saturday at your new time, which is 7:45. Appreciate that very much. All right. Okay, now let's move on to C4 Sport Fishing. Marcos is standing by. Good morning, Marcos.
Good morning, Marcos. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, great to have you. Thanks for joining us
Happy
on
New Year.
the new number and the new system here on the fan, and of course on our Let's Talk Hookup app. Appreciate that. And what's going on over at Seaforth?
I'm a little nervous. We're big time now.
We've always been big time. Come on.
Fair, true. We're really big time. Well, I mean, Mark gave a pretty good rundown of the local conditions there. Rockfish off limits for the next few months here. But the new Seaforth going out there on those half days, they've been catching the sand bass, whitefish, sculpin. The San Diego snuck a 7-4 trip in there, and they did see a yellowtail last week. So they're back out there today. Both boats, the new Seaforth on their half day, San Diego on the 7-4. Hopefully we'll see some more of that yellowtail. But overall, some nice weather out there. Catching some fish, like we said, you got to be careful, especially if you take your own boat out there. Make sure you're not getting that fish that's off limits now. Upcoming here, the Tribute is running their first call net trip next weekend, and that trip is full. But check the website. They're running those trips through February, so you can check the website there, seaforthlanding.com. Got the schedule up there for those half days on the new Seaforth, and definitely double check that schedule because right now we're back to those 8:30 departures during the week, and then the standard 6 and 12:30 departures on the weekend. San Diego has a little bit over a week of trips there, running those 7-4s. We got those Tribute day and a half trip schedules on the weekend. So check that out, seaforthlanding.com. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Can answer all your questions, get you on a trip. And like we're talking about there, if you got family in town still, I know some people are still on vacation, you just want to get them out in the water, they don't necessarily want to fish. We got those whale watching trips. They're starting to see some great whales now. We're definitely into that season there. And, of course, you can always come down and visit in person, get your gear tuned up, get ready for the upcoming season because it's anything like the last few years. It'll be on us before we know it.
Right. Sounds great, Marcos. Appreciate that report, and we will talk to you next week, same time at the new time at 7:45. Appreciate that call.
Actually, you won't talk to me next week. I'm actually taking some time off here.
No.
Oh, you can't do that.
Come on, you can't do that.
I know. It's like, when was the last time I did that? But next Saturday I won't be here. The following Saturday I will. So I'll talk to you then, guys.
All right. Thanks, Marcos.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate that report. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Happy New Year to you. And that is our catch report.
You too.
that catch report was brought to you by fishdope.com. And Gamakatsu is not just all about hooks. There is so much more, including the new Gamakatsu fillet knives. Once you try, you will always want more. The new tools are also very special, including the Gamakatsu braid scissors made with ceramic blades, which we use in the shop there at Fisherman's Landing, and they're phenomenal. So they will never rust. See your local dealer. Check out gamakatsu.com.
And then stay tuned, because we're going to be having another hour for you only on the Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll be back on the fan tomorrow morning, but stay tuned on the app. Here. Okay, we should be getting some music there.
Yeah, something's not playing on my end.
All right. So
yeah.
All right. So here we go. So yeah, stay tuned on the Let's Talk Hookup app for hour number 2.
I got it. Sorry.
Should be breaking now. At spots now.
Yeah, it's going into spots. So we learned a lot. So the next time, I'll make sure that plays as you start talking, so that you play on out of that, and we'll go into the stops better.
A and 25A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. The Shimano's Talica success is driven by its durability and spec attributes, allowing the series to differentiate from other lever drag reels within the market. The Talica is built around a cold-forged machined aluminum one-piece frame. The all-new Talica 20A and 25A now boasts Infinity Drive. Infinity Drive employs 2 drag washers housed in the side of the
Authenticated with NHD1 San Diego.
Padres play here, and we're your year-round spot for Padres talk in San Diego. Join our Tier 1 listeners. Catch Ben and Woods weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
This program is sponsored and produced by Wilsey Asset Management. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan.
The following program has been pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Smart.
Well, we have some technical difficulties here, but we're back on our stream, our Let's Talk Hookup app and such. Obviously, we have some technical problems there with our producer over at the Fan, but we'll get it all worked out.
Yeah,
and there's just some issues there and all that, but we're just it's all new for us, and we're just getting it. But we are back on our Let's Talk Hookup app here, and just very excited. Still have Captain Al Clowers here, and super happy to have him here. And good. Let's see. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, because everything's automated on this system is the part of the problem here.
It's a new year, a new system, and it's all of that is exciting.
Right.
Yeah,
By
so-
tomorrow afternoon, you'll have it all figured out.
We'll have it all tomorrow. Of course, don't forget tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on all platforms, on the Fan, as well as the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. And so we'll be back 7 to 9 a.m. But we have a full hour with Captain Al now on the app, and with your texts and your phones, your phone calls will happen tomorrow morning. So we've got that going on, and that's disconnected. So I just got to make sure that we're all right here.
Yeah.
Kind of new. If you're looking at us on YouTube and Facebook Live, you can see there's a lot of different pieces of equipment here.
Yeah. If you could see Pete right now, you would not envy his position. He's got
and I'm grateful that Brandon's here, because Ricky's out of town, taking a little needed time off, a vacation.
Well, it's an honor to fill his seat, and
Cory's sick. He called me and said, "Oh man, I'm really sick," and so thank goodness Brandon was available. And
I love both those guys.
You're
and
a
I'll fill
natural at this.
Well,
Brandon.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love to fill in for those guys anytime I can. I would prefer them on the radio, so I can listen to my truck on my way to going fishing or playing pickleball or any of the things that I do. But in a worst case scenario, I'd be happy to fill their seat. And I'm just excited to be here with you guys. Captain Al, I've looked up to this guy for years. I truly do. If I could go to 4 different places, let's say fishing in a week, I might see Captain Al in all 4 places. He does a little bit of everything. He's the Swiss Army knife of professional captains.
So because things automated, now something's going to happen here, maybe.
Oh,
Let's see. I don't know. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's supposed to happen, but there it is.
Now it's time for more.
That was supposed to happen. Because our engineer over at the fan was kind of new at it and didn't get some of the
and the
coordination
hottest
correct.
tips on improving your angling skills.
Now,
Let's Talk
we go.
Hookup is
now we
sponsored
start with
in
our
part
second
by
hour. We'll have this
Ford,
all down, I
official
promise.
trucks of
801.
Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano rods and reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Cory Sanden.
And we have to add in that, of course, Brandon Bono
Okay.
is here. Yeah, the world's greatest fisherman, Brandon Bono, is here, and we're thrilled to have him here. Captain Al Clowers is here with us, and this hour on the Let's Talk Hookup app, and of course on YouTube and Facebook Live. You can watch us and hear us on YouTube and Facebook Live. And so if you want to text us, how do you do that?
Well, you text us via the app. They've been on the app is the only way. Is the only way to get one of these great prizes. You know, it's a lot of listeners are already kind of dialed in with the app, but don't sleep on it. The app is the way. You could listen to the show anywhere, anytime. You can listen to archived episodes of the show, and you get to text in questions to the guests, and it's your only way for the second hour of the show. Now that we're off 97.3 The Fan, for the second hour, it's the only way to get through to us, and we'll be reading your questions all afternoon. All for the second hour.
All the second hour of Let's Talk Hookup on YouTube, Facebook.
Hey, that prize bundle is a really good one too. You know.
Yeah, tell
San
us about
Diego.
that one. Yeah.
A trip on the San Diego.
Are you kidding me?
1 year prescription to your saltwater guide, and the Southern California SoCal Fishing Maps binder, which gets you all the way up the coast to Channel Islands from Mexico.
And if you're a guy with that owns his own private boat, that binder is worth its weight in gold. Each individual page is sold in many tackle shops for $20, and you get every piece of the coast and every spot in those sections of the coast, and the do's and the don'ts as far as MLPA zones and where's restricted, where's not. That's a great thing for any local angler to have. And an even better thing is a 1 year subscription to your saltwater guide.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that website is firing on all cylinders right now. On Mondays, I'm on there live at noon every week.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then I do a game plan that goes out on Thursday with a couple other captains, but I cover San Diego Bay, the islands, the offshore stuff, if it's happening, you know, I mean, seasonal, right? So every day every week I talk about the bay, the islands, the lobster fishing that we haven't really
How is
talked
the
about.
lobster fishing?
I've only had like two trips this year. It's been a little bleak, but it was tough. And then the swell came, and then they crawled, and it's kind of medium right now, you know?
But it's been a tough year on lobster.
Well, at first with that bluebird skies and no
no
swell,
rain.
man,
No rain. They like crawling on that rain, right?
Right. But that swell came in, and then it helped a little bit. Yeah, it helped.
That
it helped quite a bit.
This time of year, I'm always suspicious that the lobster fishing is probably phenomenal, and a lot of guys don't know about it because everybody gets so excited for the lobster opener, you know, and we sell out of every piece of lobster, anything in the tackle store, and then
in their garage.
2 weeks later, we don't see a guy to go catch a lobster, and then come January time, I don't know, like of all my lobster buddies, I don't know a guy that's going, but probably one person is keeping it a secret, and probably one person is filling his freezer.
Right. Yeah. My little circle, they whacked them pretty good.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So you have a great text, huh?
Yeah, I have so many great texts. It's almost an issue. Like they're flowing in, and they've all been really, really good. So let's try this one. Good morning. I was curious, at what age would you recommend taking kids out for a half day on one of your charters? Also, Do you have life vests available for smaller kids, or can we bring our own? What do you recommend so they have a great day on the water? Thanks. That's from Alex in San Carlos.
Hey, Alex, great question. I'm all about the kids on that on those bait the bait trips. So it comes down to age and personality. You know what I mean? Some kids, if they're fishy and they're all about it, 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Like today, I have a 4-year-old after the show I'm taking out. But it all depends on their personality. But the bait fishing is very simple. So, I have a 4-hour trip for the kids and stuff like that, because they have a low attention span, and if it's biting, you just keep them going,
Oh, that's cool.
So I'd say 4 or 5, no problem. The youngest. And then the other part of the question, life jackets. Yes, I have life jackets. I have like six different kids life jackets. So most of the time I have that covered. You're more than welcome to bring his own personal life jacket as well. In fact, that's even better, but I have 6 or 7 of them in the lockbox. So
that's good.
Yeah, not a problem.
I would say a lot of these kids too. You
have to wear a life jacket when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Under what is it? Under 16 years.
12 and under.
12 and under. All right. It's the law.
And there's a weight limit too. But,
I did not know that. That's not what I was going to say. I had no idea.
12 and under.
And the third question that he had in here is what do you recommend to ensure that they have a great day on the water?
Biting fish.
Yeah.
Always the case.
Get a hold if you want to do a charter with me, get a hold this time of year. You can call me direct 619-800-3474, and we can hand pick some tides. So I can't fish a good tide all the time, but when the conditions are correct, the kids are bit pretty much 2 or 3 hours out of the 4 hours. So I would say hand pick a tide, book a trip on a hand-picked tide, and their attention span will be longer as long as they're getting bit. And then, I teach them how to cast a little bit, when they start getting complacent, all that, tell them to come over here. Hey, let's make some casts and stuff like that. Just keep them involved.
And I'm sure you will make their day of fishing, their experience as intensely fishing or not as they need, as their attention span allows. If they catch a handful of fish and want to go home, I'm sure that you would allow. If they want to go look at birds or maybe go grab a bite to eat somewhere, I'm sure you would allow that as well.
Right. So every now and then, if the tide's slack and we need to burn up like 45 minutes or so, I'll ask the kids if they want to go to the bait barge and look at sea lions. You know what I mean? So
And what kid doesn't enjoy that?
That's for sure. I have a great text here from John in San Diego. He says, Captain Al, and I think we intrigued him with your questions about Corvina. Captain Al, when you mentioned you're either about nighttime short fin Corvina, do you use some kind of light in the water to attract them?
No, but I'm not saying that wouldn't work. I mean, you could take your underwater lights and a chum bucket and maybe bring them to you. But I believe that those fish they're singled and schooled up a little bit, and they're chasing bait. You know what I mean? So
now when you're casting the topwater bait, are you casting it into pitch darkness? Do you have a headlamp going? Do you have
you're fishing just by listening?
Yeah, by sound.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going down the bank and you're fishing on your green light side, your running light side, the green side, you can see a little bit, but it's glassy most of the time, right? The conditions need to be glassy at night. But so with that being said, you can hear your bait and you can see your bait pretty much.
Okay.
And
that's something that a lot of guys that would need to get the hang of. I've done quite a bit of nighttime topwater fishing, some legal, maybe some questionable, but you need to know how to work a topwater so well to be able to do it literally blind. You're casting into the pitch black of the night, and you need to know from the sound, like, oh yeah, I'm going left, right, and that's what it's going to take to get that bite.
Yeah, it takes
it's sound, huh?
Yeah,
it's sound. Yeah,
you can hear your bait.
Yeah,
wow.
Just slapping the water, left, right, and if you're not doing it with a good cadence, with an educated cadence, you're probably never getting that big Corvina bite that you're searching for.
Right. There's areas in the bay, like say, for instance, on the Coronado side where the bridge goes over, where all those moorings are, it's lit up over there. So you
Yeah.
can see good over there. I mean, we've jacked them up over there pretty good
Have
too.
you? Are you giving out your secrets here?
No,
Yeah, well,
hey, that's what we do at Saltwater Guide, is give away info.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you how many species you may randomly catch on a topwater bait in South Bay?
Yeah, I've caught quite a few halibut, man.
Yeah.
They come flying out of the water,
which is weird.
Believe it or
The
not,
first time
people are like, no way. I'm like, yeah, wait. I mean, the halibut,
During the day?
halibut will
Yes.
come up and do
Really?
a somersault over a spook.
Is that right?
The first
Or
time I
any
saw
walk
that,
bait.
the first time I saw that, I was in disbelief. I would
Right.
not have believed if somebody had told me that it had happened. I would have never believed it. But I fished around the Silver Strand and watched these things do, full cartwheels over your topwater
Jeez.
bait. And then I'm always surprised that
Hopefully
like
they land on it.
you almost can't keep, the weird stuff. Jack smelt is
Right.
one that just will torment your topwater
Hey,
bait
guards,
sometimes.
the needlefish.
Oh, is that
the
right?
Needlefish, man. One night we caught like 12 of them.
No way.
Yeah, over by the
Wow.
bridge.
And
in
were
the
they,
lake.
how
They
how
were
large?
like anywhere from like 12 inches to 2 foot.
No
There were
way.
some
I didn't
big
even know we
ones.
had 2-footers in the bay.
Oh yeah, they're big ones.
That comment makes me think of a previous question that I had read. If you sat down and thought about how many species over your lifetime career fishing this bay, how many species have you caught from this body of water, do you think?
I don't know. I have to sit down and count.
Yeah,
them,
if you sat down and wrote it out, it would probably be staggering.
I think I've caught. I would probably safely say I've caught every species in the bay.
Yeah,
even the midshipmen.
Well, and now this one says, what's the biggest fish you've caught in the bay? And that's from John in La Mesa.
Probably like 120-pound bat ray, but
Well, that's aside from raising sharks.
One day we were fishing, and the guy says, "Hey man, what do I got to do to catch a big sand bass?" I said, "You need to grab that swim bait rod and tie it to your wrist the whole trip, and fire that thing around." And we're over by Shelter Island Pier in the clam beds over there, and he gets bit, and he just it's a donkey, right? I'm like, dude, it's either you just snagged a bat ray, or it's a world record halibut or something. But an hour and 10 minutes, the tide wasn't moving real fast, so we were drifting. It pulled us over to Coronado side from the Shelter Island side by the pier, and then finally that thing just floated up because he was getting a little aggressive. I said, dude, just we're fishing 15-pound braid with a 15-pound top shot. And we got this monster on there, right? And all of a sudden, this 85-pound black.
No way.
It's estimated because I couldn't pull him out of the water, right?
Yeah.
So I
85
estimate
black sea bass.
85-pound black sea bass.
Wow. In the bay.
That's about the biggest real fish we've
I didn't
caught.
know they lived in the bay.
Oh yeah, I've caught probably 25 over the years.
Oh, is that right? Did you know they were in there?
I did as a juvenile, but I mean, I've never been.
That was a
fortunate enough to
big
catch
one. That was the biggest one. And then I had another day over by the cable crossing. The guy wanted to do the same thing, so I said, grab these swim baits and just start winding them around, man. And the kid we caught back to back that day.
Yeah.
First one was like a 10-pounder, and the second one was like a 40-pounder.
Wow.
Black sea bass at the cable.
I would love
plastic.
I would
On
love a
plastic.
small black sea bass.
Yeah.
At least to hold one, have a picture with one, have
Yeah.
a mount of one would be super
Sure.
cool. What a cool
Yeah,
animal
because
that
they're
is.
cool because they have spots on them. They're real
Right.
different
Totally
looking
different
than the
looking,
adult. Yeah.
That's the most exotic big fish I've caught.
They're also really good eating if you get it over.
Well,
at
I
Point
wouldn't
Loma
know about
Seafoods,
anything
yeah.
like that.
Well, no, you can buy it at Point Loma Seafoods.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
oh yeah,
then
man.
I do know about it. They are
Yeah, they
delicious.
get it from they get it from Mexico.
Right, which is crazy. You can't catch a black sea bass in Mexico and bring it back
Yes,
to California.
you can. As a matter of fact, Al,
Huh?
I
don't know about that.
had the DFW guy sitting right in
Mm.
your seat right there and tell us you can bring 2 a day.
2 a day.
A
So
day.
look, last night I
Yes,
was doing
from
a bunch,
Mexico.
Last night I was doing a bunch of research on this cod and
Yeah, you can't bring cow
the-
cod,
the-
but you
the-
can bring
the-
black sea bass.
right.
Well, that's
So
silly.
right?
but you can't bring back 5 fish Mexican limit to U.S. either. You have to abide by the U.S. limits.
I don't think that's true.
I have it on my phone. It's
Unless
in-
you have a declaration of entry form. You have
no,
to fill out the declaration.
well, even with the declaration, what I read last night is in Mexico, you can possess their maximum limits in Mexico, but when you want to transport them to U.S., you need to have you need to stick to the U.S. guidelines. I'm going to get that.
Yeah, we need to find that out.
I'm going to
because
get that.
I don't know that's
well,
different than
it
what
says it right in black and white.
In
I was talking with Scott Sherman last night about it.
So that means you can only keep 2 reds.
Well, whatever the U.S. limit is,
Yeah.
and Picacho and all that.
Interesting. Okay, we'll have to do some further
But
research.
all together, we need to get that
Yeah.
really dialed in because I'm not going to say what
and you know, a lot of times the Fish and Wildlife officers don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
And they
that's
have
the
to do
bottom
their
line.
I had
research.
3 years
Yeah.
ago. I had a guy, and I asked him, right, and he says, "Oh no, you can catch your Mexican limits in Mexico, but when you come back, you cannot bring Mexican limits back to U.S. You can only bring back the 2 Picacho." And I was like, "What?"
I have the head guy phone number on my phone here.
We need to have him.
We're going to
send
be
it-
talking to him.
We need to have
Yeah.
him send it in writing to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Right?
Hey, so that his other officers know, right?
Right, because it's a little gray
Yeah,
area.
we need to determine that. But yeah, no, he said that, and it's in the regulations, I believe, that you're allowed to bring black sea bass back from Mexican waters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because any other illegal U.S. fish, you can't bring back.
Right, like a cowcod.
Right.
Can't bring it back.
Right. or
So
yellow eye,
why
whatever.
is the regulation say? Why is he saying you can bring black sea bass back, but you can't bring cowcod?
We need to
I
see
think
it.
there's
We
a
need to see
lot
it.
of gray area.
We need to see it all in
Right?
writing because I've
Yeah.
caught quite a few big black sea bass in the summer down there.
Yeah. Well, the big ones you don't want to keep anyway.
No.
Yeah.
They're hard to
They're-
float back
and they're
down,
not-
but
yeah, they're hard.
Trevin, you know what Trevin does? The kid on the road players,
Yeah.
he'll jump in the water,
Jump in the water
and he floats them
swim them
down.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, what a
That
cool
kid's a
experience that
nut,
would be.
dude.
That is nuts.
He
But
grabs that thing by the jaw and floats them down.
in my opinion, it's better safe than sorry. If you're not 100% dialed in on a rule or a law that you may or may not be fudging, just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
It's not worth
And
it.
it seems kind of funny because you would think that every little tiny item and regulation we know about, but I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah, and it's always ever changing. It's an evolving thing.
Right.
You know.
Now you have a great text, huh?
I do. You know, it's part of the downside of allowing me access to these texts is I get to cherry pick the text.
The good
you know?
ones,
And
right,
this text
It's
is,
testing me.
is something I want to hear from Captain Al. And it says, "Good morning, guys. Cool show. Captain Al, what's your biggest largemouth you've caught here in California? And do you guide private boats? Can a guy hire you to go take him on his own boat?"
like
Yeah,
Captain Dave used to
absolutely.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I guide on your boat, whether you want to learn electronics, how to drive it, how to fish it, you know, everything from the bow to the stern on a private boat that I know I share with them.
So you
And
do that. So if
yes.
you want to learn how to use your electronics, how to run your boat better,
right.
and what
yeah.
size boat can you do that on?
Up to like 100 foot.
Oh, okay.
I have 100-ton, you know.
All right.
for
So if you've got a 60-foot Viking, you want to hire Al to
Right.
teach you all the good stuff on your yacht.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yachts, small
Or if you
boats,
have a 25-foot Parker,
right.
and you
I
want
don't know if I
have
want to
Al-
go on a 25-foot Parker, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
but I get a lot of inquiries about educational trips. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People that don't know. I mean, they're new,
Yeah.
right? But I can handle new people. Or I can handle experienced guys that want to learn how to all the gear for the big bluefin or everything in between.
Yeah.
You know, all the gear. A lot of guys want to have. They don't have the right gear and all that stuff. So.
And what a great value for a lot of guys. You know, so many of our local spots, especially our freshwater, our lakes are so spot oriented and experience oriented, and like they're so small, heavily pressured bodies of water. And the way you get good at fishing these places is having experience. And somebody could call you up and book a trip with you on their own boat and cut out 10 years of experience, or, you know, fast forward 10 years of tips on a particular body of water.
Right.
It's a
If he's
great
talking
value.
about the lakes,
Yeah.
you know, I can do that, but I would recommend that you come with me because my boat is completely tackled up. Right.
Yeah. Sure.
So there's a big difference between conditions change, your instinct changes, things change hour to hour on the lake. And if I see something, I'll dig in the rod locker and grab a different rod or whatever.
Sure.
You know, otherwise I got to show up to a boat with 12 or 15 rods.
Sure, but I bet
You know?
you could sit back.
But
and
I
tell
can
a
show them
guy-
how to do it, how to
Yeah.
read their live scope, and you know, whatever they want to do. I show them spots and stuff.
And for any newcomer to Southern California freshwater bass fishing, that would be worth its weight in gold. Your tips on where to be, what to do, what to be thinking, what
Right.
and what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken it from the crawdad era back in the day with my dad, catching big ones. You know, my biggest bass is 12.6 from
All right.
from Otay.
Wow.
But I have handfuls of 11s and 10s and 8s
Wow.
and 6s and stuff like that. But yeah, the knowledge. I'll be 64 this year, and I've been fishing the lakes all my life. You know what I mean? So
he took me out. Where was that? El Capitan?
El Cap that day,
yeah, we went to El Cap. Was it last January or something
yeah,
like
we're
that?
using bait too.
Yeah, and we caught a bunch of fish.
Is that right?
And then so we stopped using bait because
Right.
his brother had this secret spot, and we were just slaying them. And nice, great fish too. And then we went to the spot, and I saw Al using these techniques. I'm not a freshwater bass guy, right?
Right.
I know you are, Brandon, but I was watching him slay these fish on this plastic, on these techniques. And so if you want to learn more about fishing freshwater,
Yeah.
Al's like, we were a tournament fisherman, right?
I fished tournaments for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And one time I wanted to be a traveling pro, you know, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Fished the
And then
one
you- and
bass
then you woke
pro
up.
stuff. Found myself on Lake Mead out in the middle of nowhere, broke and not getting bit, you know. But highest I finished at Lake Mead in a pro tournament was 9th.
Wow.
Back in the day, and out of like 200 boats. But yeah, I used to have like 5 or 7 banana boxes full of plaques and trophies and stuff from San Diego. I've won at every lake a couple times.
So if you want to learn my point is you want to learn about freshwater
Right.
fishing.
Yeah,
go check
from
him out.
from bait
'Cause I learned a lot
bait
just going with him
fishing to
once.
fun fishing to tournament fishing.
Yeah, just
you
kind of
know?
all of it.
So-
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, this is funny from Tim in Martinsville, Indiana, listening to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Wow.
He says, "Morning, y'all." Or does Captain Al sounds like a rock and roll Hall of Famer? Like Joe, he sounds like Joe Walsh. He kind of does sound like Joe Walsh, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. How you doing? Say that. How you doing?
How you doing?
That's it. He sounds just like Joe Walsh. Yeah, for sure. You have a good text, Brandon?
I do, yeah. This is from Darren and Menifee. It says, "Good morning, Pete and Brandon and Captain Al. You have been a great addition to your saltwater guide. Will you guys be at the PCS? And will you be doing any seminars? Or are you going to the show in the springtime?"
I will. Thank you for that. For one, 2, I will be at the PCS show up in that booth. 3, I'm not sure if I haven't been asked to do any seminars yet. Back in the day, I used to not go to the show because I was working. I was at that time of year, it's busy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I tried to avoid it.
Yeah.
Because I want to work, you know, but I'll definitely be up there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be up there every day, but I'll be up there for sure. I will advertise what day I'll be there. It could be all 3 or it could be 1 or 2. And there is a possibility maybe I'll do some seminars. I'm not sure yet.
I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Somebody's going to ask.
Well,
you to
I
get
know
on the
Captain
stage.
Dave will be there doing
Right.
his dog and pony show.
Yeah, they call me a lot of times to do freshwater seminars too. Sometimes, but
Now that show's coming up here beginning of March, and you guys will have Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Will have a great booth there, right?
Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop will have the best tackle shop in the
All
whole
the
show.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have all kinds of great promotions and 2 fish jigs. We'll have the largest display ever put
at the
forth
Fisherman's Landing
at the
Tackle.
Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop
Yeah.
booth.
Is Bodan going to hang out with you then?
Bodan, I'm sure will be by
Yeah.
at times. Yeah, Captain Matt Brawla will have his own setup with his Captain's Concepts.
Which, by the way, they'll be Captain Matt and Captain Gavin will be our guests next Sunday on Let's Talk Hookup. Next Sunday is all going to be, because of NFL football, Next Sunday is going to be all on the app and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Okay.
So, but that'll be with
That's not a
Captains
show
Matt
to
and
miss.
Gavin.
Yeah,
for sure.
download
That's a
the
good
app.
one.
Make sure you're
Download
listening.
the app. Watch us on YouTube and Facebook Live, and that's the best place to catch us for sure. But that's going to be a good one. But yeah, and Let's Talk Hookup is coming back to the show circuit.
Is that right?
We're gonna have a booth.
All right.
at PCS. Yeah.
Okay.
Tommy P and Dave Dolan will be helping me out at the booth, so we'll be having a booth at the PCS show in March. So I can't believe we're already talking about shows, but here it is.
Yeah.
We're in January.
Yeah, it's
And
great. It's a
gonna
new
be
year.
here.
It's an
And-
exciting
and
year.
Lots of new boats. I know the guys from West Coast Marine, Parker Boats, and their Camus, they'll have a lot of boats there. And then also, first time in the show, Boat and Motor Mart from up in the Bay Area, going to have Steigercraft there.
Oh, cool.
And I understand Al Steiger from Steigercraft might come out too.
Wow,
So
all right.
that's something it's going to be a great show. That's going to be a good one.
That'll be cool.
For
Yeah,
sure,
I can't
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, that's really cool that he watches your saltwater guide, you know?
Yeah.
Back to that, you know, if you're looking for live stuff, live information, live game plans, you can sit there and listen to us live for an hour on Mondays. Your saltwater guide is the place to be. So if you're new to fishing or whatever, that's the place to be.
Cool. Hey, I have a great one here from Rich and Bradley. He says, would the same theory use San Diego Bay work in Morro Bay as far as tides go?
Well, if it's tides, I believe tides is a worldwide. You can be in Asia.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing on a slack tide, you're not going to get as bid as much as you are on
Yeah.
a current. I mean, they set up differently, you know.
And your favorite tide you were saying is what?
You know, a moving tide, anything over 3 foot.
Anything
You know, these
over
king
3 foot.
tides are a little tough.
Yeah.
You know,
So if it's over 6 foot, it makes it pretty tough.
if it's over 6 foot, I've had some great days doing it, throwing heavier swim baits, you know, but the finesse stuff and everything is a little tougher. But this is fishing in the deeper water. In the back bay, you can fish that ripping tide and do pretty well. I don't think they bite as good on like a 7-footer as they do on a 5-footer.
A 5-footer. What about lobster fishing? Does tide affect lobster fishing?
Lobster fishing is, I mean, every time I think I figured it out, I don't.
Yeah.
They say don't fish on a full moon. I've whacked them on a full moon out there.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, current overall, if I was to pick current to fish or no current, I would pick current.
Yeah.
You know? Current
For
is-
any kind of fish, whether it be
Yes.
lobster or bass.
Yeah,
or-
Morro Bay, lingcod, shallow water cod, man. Those things get all set up, and when that current starts moving and position themselves correctly to ambush, and they're feeding. You know, everything's going by them. The bait, the clams, or whatever's on
Right.
the bottom. San Diego Bay has bait fish, fin fish, but I truly believe the fish in San Diego Bay, like the bass and halibut and the spotties and stuff like that, eat more razorback clams and worms and goat shrimp than they do fin bait. Because people ask me, hey, we're not going to get live bait. I'm like, no, we're not going to get live bait. Why not? Well, because those artificial baits on those rods right there are going to catch way more. And I've tested it. You know, I've taken live bait out there, put 2 live bait rods out and 4 or 5, 3 or 4.
You're talking in the bay now.
Yeah, in the bay, and the artificials just murder the live bait.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've had an
beats it down.
experience fishing against you in bay bass tournaments, all of which I got a clinic put on me by Captain Al
Yeah.
Clowers. But I was fascinated when we're catching these big sand bass and big spotted bay bass in these bay bass tournaments, and you put them in your live well,
Right.
and you go to pull them out at the end of the day, and the whole bottom of the live well is full of razor clams.
Right.
I mean,
Really?
just
oh yeah,
full of
shell and
razor
all.
clams.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that, these big sand bass got this big just from eating razor clam, especially during that time of year where the bay is full of fin bait. There's a lot of fin bait options, but they seem to really want that razor clam.
Right. They spit them up whole.
Yeah.
The razorback clams about like that big,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're on the deck all the time.
So now one exception I saw to that rule in the bay with the bait with plastic versus bait is in the spring when the Everingham brothers have anchovy
Oh, boy.
and that Corvina
Oh,
gets
yeah.
up on the
Right.
shallow,
Mhm.
you start chumming chovy
Oh, yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
there and watch out,
Right.
man. It's
I
like
had a
wide
trip.
open.
I had a trip this summer, and the guy was adamant about doing a bait trip, and he was adamant about catching keepers. And I didn't want to argue with the guy, so okay, let me try to figure this out. So they had anchovy at the barge, right? So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to go tank up on that. I got 2 scoops, and I was in the Riviera, so I could only go so far back there.
Sure.
So I went in like 10 foot of water back there, just off a whim, right? I didn't have any like, hey, they're biting back here, all this pressure on me. I set the hook, I started chumming, and we caught 12 corvina.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was
On
that
bait.
springtime?
On bait. That was in summer.
Yeah. Okay.
It blows me away during the summertime. The young kids that we have working in the tackle store, will really fish our docks hard before work, after work.
I watch it from here.
Sometimes during work, they're down there.
Nighttime in the evenings.
Yeah, at night they're just grinding on the dock, and they're fishing their swim bait, and they get bites, and they catch them in a bunch of different cool
Corvina?
ways. All sorts of different things, But then there's maybe they catch a couple, maybe they catch a handful. On their best day, they're catching a handful, and then the dolphin will pull back in, and they'll have 2 tanks of anchovy, and they'll let those same kids hop on the back of the dolphin and fish a couple of anchovies, and it's every bait every time. You have no idea what you're going to catch. It's like lights out. Yeah, chovy.
Yeah, it's like that boat affects. I have a bait receiver at my boat, and in the summertime, man, you walk up in the 12 noon on a sunny day where you can see through the water, and there'll be 4 or 5 corvina nosed into my tank. It's like clockwork.
Wow.
And my deckhand caught, there's been some stripers being caught around here. We haven't mentioned that.
I've heard that.
So my deckhand
In
caught
the
like
bay?
a 10-pound striper at the slip.
No way.
2 months ago.
No kidding.
Wow.
In Harbor Island.
Yeah. We don't really want to tell them where the bait bucket is.
On a chovy. All right. On a chovy?
On a sardine.
On a sardine.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool when the corvina are around. All summer long, they're there. So you just pull up, grab a bait, put it out there, and you can catch 4 or 5, and then they kind of get smart.
Wow.
But yeah, he caught a big old 10-pound striper.
Right
jumping
there.
over sailboats and trying
No
to get that
kidding.
thing in the boat. Yeah, he was so stoked. I have a picture of it.
How fun is that? Hey, when we come back, we're going to have a lot more from Captain Al. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Time flies, huh?
Your full-service
Shit.
agency specializing in boat insurance,
cool.
including
Well,
charter,
yeah,
commercial,
okay.
and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson & Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app or on YouTube or Facebook Live.
Yeah. And, we should explain our schedule here again, because this is all new year, new station, new deal. On Saturdays, we're 7 to 8 a.m. on the Fan. We're 7 to 9 a.m. Saturday and Sunday on all our platforms, except for the Fan at 8 to 9 on Saturday. So you can always hear us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. You can always hear us and watch us on YouTube and Facebook Live. You can always hear us on our letstalkhookup.com website on the live stream on that. And then on Saturdays, we are not on the Fan from 8 to 9 on Saturday because they have another show that runs there. But we're on 7 to 8 a.m. on the Fan on Saturdays and 7 to 9 a.m. on Sundays on the Fan. So we'll be back on the Fan tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. But we always say the best way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup is either hook up on our free Let's Talk Hookup app or watch us on YouTube and Facebook Live. That's the best way to go.
Yeah, the app is incredible, but it is also super nice to be back on 97.3 FM, The Fan. Yeah, I listen.
Padres,
I listen
right?
to The Fan all day long. It's on my truck stereo, and I love it, and I'm happy to be back with you.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, those listeners in LA and Orange County, which we have a ton of, or Moore Bay, wherever, they can't hear The Fan up there, so they'll have to listen to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Which the app is incredible, and it's the only way to currently text into us right now a question, and there's been so many flowing in.
So you have a good text, right?
I do, yeah. I have actually quite a few, and once again, you should have never let me on this text thread because I'm going to cherry pick them. I'm going to cherry pick them.
Well, that's the idea, right?
Yeah. So this one says, "Good morning, Pete, Brandon, and Captain Al. I saw Captain Al speak at the San Diego Anglers event. I believe he said that he has seen striped bass at the entrance to San Diego Bay. Can he expand on that?"
Well, I don't know when I talked about that. I don't know if I did talk about that, but lately I haven't caught one in San Diego Bay yet. I know that they have been caught. One was at my slip, 10-pounder, right at the slip 3 months ago. And then there was another one caught in the middle of the back bay under bird schools. So right now, the front of the bay, I wouldn't be looking for them in the front of the bay. I would be looking for them in the back bay because this is a time of year where take your binos when you go fishing in the back bay back there. And the big flat back there is when the birds get going, right? And there'll be spotties and everything that swims underneath the bird on the micro bait.
Yeah.
And there is some stripers mixed in with them.
That's why I cherry picked that particular question. It's the thing that is haunting my mind because
to catch a striper?
Yeah, catch a striper. There's a lot of young guys coming through the shop and everybody's murmuring. There's quiet whispers coming from all these young guys that, oh, they're catching stripers over here. This kid's catching stripers. I've never caught a saltwater San Diego striper. I'm going to catch one. If it becomes a fishery, which I hope it does. I hope they're here to stay and maybe proliferate a little bit, and expand their territory a little bit. I want to go catch one. And I heard guys talking about that back bay bird school fishing, which I've done quite a bit of. I've gone back there and chased the bird schools, and it's kind of trippy how you could run and gun on a bird school like you're offshore tuna fishing, but you're doing it in the back bay. And when you get on these bird schools and you cast into them, you don't know what you're going to catch because the bay has so many species in it. On every, you're going to get a bite if you make the right cast, but it could be a number of
spotty, corvina, mackerel, bonita, barracuda.
And now if you add striped bass to that, what a cool thing to do.
And the stripers are really
and that striper should and they proliferate too. That should only get better, right, Al?
Right. Then they're really aggressive. So,
yeah.
And they're kind of dumb.
That's my kind of fish. Yeah. Aggressive and dumb. I'm sold. I'm in.
If we can get around them, we can catch them, Brandon.
That's it. Hey, Sam in Irvine writes, I see you have a 20-foot skiff. Do you fish the Coronados with that boat? What about fishing Point Loma kelp? And what are your rates? Do you provide tackle as well?
I provide tackle. Right now, I'm just keeping it in the bay. I don't have a half-day Point Loma kelp trip on there. I take the Riviera outside the bay right now. I'm thinking about putting those trips on. I don't charter that boat to the islands when I can ride in a bitch and Riviera.
Sure.
Why would I want to go down the islands in a skiff? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So everything outside the bay is done on the Riviera right now. Later in the summer, I put a half day or a full day local trip on. The bay rates are on my website, captainclowers.com, if you're looking for the rates.
Yeah. Like, what is it? Give it some.
It's for the 4 hour in the bay for 3 people, it's $550, $100 extra for the 4th person.
For
And then
3 people for $550 for
Yeah.
a 4-hour trip.
That's a great deal.
That's a good deal.
and that's pre-COVID prices. So
Yeah.
that's for the next 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the 5 hour trip, I like to fish the back bay on a 5 hour trip because it takes a while to get back there.
Sure.
And that's $650 for 3
Okay.
people.
Still a great value.
Plus $100 for the 4th.
Yeah. Now, during the season, do you ever offer, like the fall season, do you ever offer swordfish trips?
No, I haven't, because the fact that I like to take people fishing that I'm confident in what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I haven't put a lot of effort into sword fishing.
Mm.
I have all the gear and all that stuff, and I've been invited with some of the top guys to go. I just haven't pulled the trigger on that. For one, it's the end of the season and I'm burned out, and I want to go to the desert and hang out with my family a lot of times.
And it's boring.
And two,
Until you get a bite, right?
Until you get a bite.
And two is, I really don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger. I think the reason why is because I know for a fact that if you fish 30 days straight for swordfish, I mean, you might get 6 bites and get 6 fish. You might get pulled hooks. You might not catch nothing.
Yeah, if you
right?
got 6 bites in 30 days, you were kind of
Right.
whacking them. You were on them.
I know guys that have caught in 4 this year.
Wow.
you
It was
know.
a slow year, though, right, Brand? There was
One of
one
them-
little period for about
Right.
2 weeks where it was
Right.
biting.
There
right?
was a dream window in there that was really biting, and some of
Yeah.
the guys from the Landon had caught the fish of their lifetime. But outside of that, it was a tough one.
Yeah.
A lot of skunk days for a lot of expert local sword
Right,
fishermen.
right. I mean, here in the future, look forward to seeing me out there.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to do it before
I
get too old.
I knew that was going to be the answer, because there's nowhere here in San Diego that you are not. If I
But I'm going to say, if you want to go sword fishing, Brandon Hayward and his crew are the guys.
They're great.
They
Yeah.
are the experts.
They are
at
great,
it, and
yeah.
that's what they do. Right.
right.
They specialize.
and they would be the first ones to tell you this year was a tough
This
year.
year
This
was a tough year.
And what's that one kid's name with the curly blonde hair that he's swordfish crazy?
He works for Brandon.
Yeah,
right?
he works for what's his name?
Well, I'm
yeah,
spacing on his name,
I
but
am
he's
too.
so good. He
But
is
he's
so
good
good.
at it.
He like lives and sleeps for that stuff,
Yep.
and those
Yeah.
are the guys you want to go
That's
with.
the guys you want to go with for sure. Yeah.
For now,
Hey,
anyway.
Hey, until Al comes out. Okay. I got another text about the new changes that we're doing here. He says, try to listen on 97.3 and 1090. You're no longer on radio. Yes, we are on radio, but here's the new schedule. So on the Fan 97.3, which can only be heard in San Diego County, basically, we're on from 7 to 8 a.m. on Saturday, 7 to 9 a.m. on Sunday. We're on 7 to 9 a.m. Saturday and Sunday on the Let's Talk Hookup app, the Let's Talk Hookup Facebook and YouTube Live, and of course on our website. And starting next weekend, we'll have all hours available on Tuned In Radio, which will bring millions and millions of subscribers to us. So if you're a Tuned In Radio guy like I am, a lot of people use Tuned In Radio. We'll be on Tuned In Radio 7 to 9 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. So that answers. So you're not hearing us on the Fan from 8 to 9 on Saturday. Just pop on the app, download the free app, and or watch us on YouTube and Facebook Live.
Yeah, I can't recommend enough.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. Download the app. It's
Yeah.
free, and it's
Yeah.
the best way to listen to
It's so much cleaner too.
the live show and previous archive shows. It's the only way to get access to these great prizes that are given away every week. And today one lucky caller or texter is going to win a full day trip aboard the San Diego from C4 Sport Fishing. They're also going to win a SoCal Fishing Maps binder of every local chart. They're also going to get a 1-year subscription to Your Saltwater Guide, where they can see Captain Al Clowers tips live.
Absolutely, amongst a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of information on there. Hey, back to the SoCalFishingMaps.com. There's a couple ways you guys can get them. Well, obviously you're going to win this one, but they're in most all tackle shops. But if you want to order through the website, SoCalFishingMaps.com, And if you put in the code Clowers, Clowers, you get free shipping.
Yeah.
Nice. And it's a cool map because it's waterproof. You can
Right.
keep it on the boat and it has all the spots.
Right.
All of Al's hot spots.
Hey, I have them in my boat.
Does it cover the bay too?
That one does not. It covers everything outside the bay, but from 50 miles south all the way to the Channel Islands,
Wow.
Catalina, Clemente, everything is in that.
All the spots,
and
all the coordinates, all the GPS coordinates.
And if you need to build from that, then you just buy singles. Buy a single from Mission Bay. The Bay one has a Mission Bay on the back, and then San Diego Bay in the front.
Okay.
Right, and then so this one covers. I don't know if they can see it, but all of this, Pete, everything that's in white.
That's a lot.
So page 18 is we fish this zone 18 all the time, right? And all the way up to
like
the
to
Channel
Point
Islands.
Conception, basically.
Right.
Yeah, or not. Well, up to Santa Cruz Island. It looks like on that.
Well,
one.
I see this all the
Yeah.
time in the tackle store, and like I said earlier, for a private boat angler, it's worth its weight in gold. When you leave the confines of the mouth of the bay, you need to have one of these on your boat to know the structure, the spots, the MLPA zones. But I've also seen countless times for a young guy who's super in to just nautical stuff and fishing and just coastal stuff. It's a great educational tool to learn what's going on out there.
Yeah, this one has Channel Islands offshore, Santa Barbara Channel, SoCal Bright offshore, Santa Monica Bay, Palos Verdes, San Pedro Shelf, Horseshoe Kelp, Long Beach Harbor, Catalina Island, Huntington.
It's got it
Flats,
all.
Newport Reef, Laguna Coast, South
good.
Orange County, San Clemente, San Diego offshore, North County, San Diego local, San Diego border.
Somebody's going to win that today. Lucky caller or a texter from our
That's
first
a lot
hour
of-
there.
a
Hey,
lot of dialed in
here's a
stuff.
question from Bill in San Diego, and he says, "Do you do open party ocean trips? Is that an option? And how do you sign up?"
I do open party offshore trips. Now, the problem with the open party stuff is somebody like Bill says, "Hey, I have this window I can go," right? And then filling the other 5 spots is tough, right? So for a long time, I didn't do them, but I will be doing them this summer. You can give me a text or call me at 619-800-3474, and I'm going to put you in the pool, the single pool, and we'll pick some dates and fill the boat. A lot of your Saltwater Guide members are all about that too. So I will be doing 1 a week maybe, or 2 a month.
Okay.
But focusing more on private stuff, because the clerical work for open party is
Yeah, I
6
bet it's
times
tricky.
more work than it is for a private charter. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we can do that.
All right, very good.
And speaking about offshore stuff, we've been talking about the bay, man, but with that Riviera, I fish offshore and everything. So just want to let everybody know that whether it's big bluefin, the islands, yellowtail, patty hopping, I got my hands on the pulse on everything.
That's a beautiful Riviera. It's a
So,
35,
36,
36 Riviera.
Yeah, you're a
twin diesel.
Twin diesel. It's been repowered with QSB 420s.
Woo, it flies.
CH500.
Yeah.
Aftermarket bow rail.
Wow.
4 bait tanks.
4 bait tanks.
Mhm.
And
You
how
got it
much
all
does that
there.
CH500 change the game for you?
It changed the game big time.
That's a side scan sonar.
Yeah, it's the latest and greatest from
Wow.
Furuno, the most up to date one. I had the 270 in it, and I couldn't get parts, so I had to bite the bullet and put a
Get a
500
brand
in
new
there
one.
because it was out of warranty.
If a passenger finds himself in the fortunate position to be on a vessel with Captain Al Clowers at the helm and a CH500, it's kind of cheating. You almost,
Right.
if you didn't catch anything, it's your fault.
Right. Well, they weren't there.
Yeah,
We never found them. Right.
Yeah.
The CH500 works great when there's fish around.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Cool. All right. Here's another great text here, and it's from Jake in Point Loma. He says, "Really enjoying the show. Was wondering about could Captain Clowers talk strategy to catch a bonefish in San Diego Bay?"
Yeah, I can talk strategy. There's not a lot of strategy to it. It might where I'm at right now, but get yourself a Promar came out with a brand new ghost shrimp pump, stainless steel.
They did?
Yes, I should have brought
Really?
it, but Yeah, so they sent me the prototype one. I'm going to make a video this week
Those are nice.
on it. So first you go to promar.com, get yourself that really nice stainless steel Go Shrimp pump. You look at the tide charts and you find a tide that's zero pretty much, or minus maybe 6 inches, or plus maybe 1.5 feet, depending on which area you're looking for Go Shrimp. And you go pump some Go Shrimp, right?
Which is pretty easy to do once you figure it out.
Right. San Diego Bay has quite a few coves where you can do it. Mission Bay, Crown Point and Mission Bay is a really good spot.
Yeah.
Incoming tide is best over there. So like a minus
Crown Point. And,
yeah.
Like San Diego River is good too.
Oh, great.
Right. Yeah. OB. Yeah.
And in and of itself, that's a fun fishing experience as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
especially if you got a young guy.
So hey,
you got some young guys.
so check this out. I do a full day bay trip, 8 hours. We fish in the morning. If the tides are funky or whatever, hopefully I have some Go Shrimp in the boat, but I have a backup plan, alternative to Go Shrimp for them bonefish. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Go to C4 Sport Fishing.
No. So anyway, I do this full day trip where we fish, and then I'll take you into a restaurant in the back bay, which is the Galley. They can have their beers or whatever. And then
That's in Chula Vista Marina?
Yeah. And then we come back out and fish the rest of the day. And we pull in the beach and catch Go Shrimp too. So you get the whole gamut on a full day.
What a cool day.
So really cool experience.
But the answer, if you want to catch bonefish, Go Shrimp.
Go Shrimp.
And Carolina rig?
So the
that how you
answer
rig
is
them?
get yourself a good Go Shrimp pump. Promar makes the best one out there right now. And then depending on I anchor, right? And I have a chum. I call it a chum tube. I make them and sell them. It's called the chum tube. And I fill it full of sardine or whatever you got. Right. Put the chum tube out there and get a little slick going and get those fish to come to you. If that's not happening, if you have a slack tide, just pull the anchor and drift with like a 1/4 ounce Carolina rig and a little tiny drop shot hook is what I use.
So you anchor and do you use a weight when you're anchored?
Yeah, drop shot.
Just a little drop shot. Yeah. Okay.
And our bonefish fishery here in San Diego Bay is kind of unique, you know, like that they travel in large schools, and B, you're trying to get them to come to you rather than you find them.
I like to do that because if you can get them, man, you know, in the springtime, March, April, February, actually middle of February, the rays start spawning. I take kids back there, man, and I take 2 shark rods. And then it depends how many people. Say there's 4 people on the boat.
Yeah.
I need to try to get 4 rods in the water. I can't get 4 rods in the water.
It's just too hot and
when
heavy.
it's good,
Yeah.
I cannot get 4 rods in the water. There's no way.
How cool is that?
There's no way.
No way. Really?
But yeah, Go Shrimp.
And what pound test you fishing the bones on?
Well, I used to fish light line, but every time they're so squirrely, man, they start throwing freaking weight. Even if you tie
Like
the
what's
drop
light
shot
line
hook,
to you?
12.
Oh,
That's light.
Wow.
Man, I used to fish
So
them with 4.
I did as well.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
you
have
get bit
before.
better on 4 or 6.
Well,
I
light,
get
you know,
destroyed
light
faster.
line,
Get
light
destroyed.
line, like 6 pound, but you lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So that water's murky. The bonefish are on feeding mode. They don't care.
If you have
So
especially if you have a go shrimp.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
15-pound test, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now C4 does C4 still
They-
sell
as far as I know,
live Go shrimp?
they still sell
Yeah.
live Go Shrimp.
Yeah.
I was turned on to a trick many years ago, and he probably would really be mad at me for sharing this, but I was turned on to a trick years ago. Is you go like Captain Al Clowers said, go get your Go Shrimp pump, go pump your bucket full of Go Shrimp, and then go to your maybe Asian market and buy a bunch of very inexpensive bay shrimp, and then you go pick, you know, where you think a school of bonefish may
Cooked or
potentially be.
uncooked?
Well, I guess
Doesn't matter.
I
They're
don't
kind
know.
of cooked.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
typically when I buy them, they're the cheapest ones, and
Yeah.
they're cooked and they're in a
Cooked.
bag.
Yeah, I think
and
it
then
matters.
you throw the anchor, you set up on a spot, and you just steady throw a chum line of those bay shrimp.
You need to get one of my chum
Chopping
tubes.
them.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
It changes the game.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Okay, I'll look into it. I
Yeah.
want one.
And that's a good tip because they'll eat that shrimp too, right?
Sure, yeah, but you feed them because you know that Go Shrimp is the filet mignon of the
Right.
bay. Every time
Yeah.
you're going to hit the bottom, you're probably getting bit. You may not hook or land every fish you get
Right.
bit by, but you're going to get a bite.
Yeah, and you never know what it's going to be.
Totally.
Bonefish, 5-foot shovel nose.
And
Corvina.
if you're chumming, you don't discount a gulp too. You can
Oh,
catch
yeah.
them on that, gulp shrimp, right?
I'll throw this out there. Since your saltwater guide era is giving stuff away, I'm gonna throw a bone out there. So if you go to the grocery store and the bycatch shrimp that you're using for chum, the cocktail shrimp, they're little tiny peanut shrimp. They fit right on a drop shot. They're really small. Okay. See, those shrimp, you can go out there. I used to fish them all the time because you can only have 50 ghost shrimp. So a guy like me, take on a charter 50 ghost shrimp
per 50 casts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Per license or per child. So you buy those little shrimp, and what's cool about it is the fishing's just as good, and then there's not as much bycatch.
Sure.
You catch the little black perch and the little yellowfin croaker and the bonefish, but I mean, you can have a Ziploc bag of that stuff and slick it out there.
And you also get the opportunity to catch weird things that you would not catch in any other technique. Diamond turbot is a great one. I've caught a lot of diamond turbot doing that same thing, and sargo and spotfin croaker and a lot of weird things. Smooth hounds. Sure.
And what size hook you using, Brandon?
I typically use a number 8 bait holder size hook.
Number 8.
Yeah, other Gamakatsu typically.
Okay.
I just use drop shot hook. Gamakatsu drop shot because it fits right. The shrimp. So there's different size ghost shrimp, right?
Yeah.
You don't need big ghost shrimp when you're bone fishing.
No.
So the shrimp in San Diego Bay that I've caught, with my experience, are about that big.
All right. Like an inch and a half.
That's perfect. Right?
Hey, when we come back, we're going to tell you who's going to be the big winner here, a caller or a texter, and wrap up the show today. Stay tuned. This is Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year, the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss it.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Hey, San Diego, the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. The biggest deals of the year to finish 2024, featuring America's best-selling truck, Ford F-Series, leading for 47 straight years. Or check out the full lineup of versatile Ford SUVs, including Bronco or Bronco Sport. Don't wait. Come take a test drive today. Get holiday ready only at your local San Diego County Ford dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Welcome back. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
All right. Flip a coin there, Al. See who it's a caller or a texter right there. Flip that magic coin.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. It's a texter. Well, congratulations to John in La Mesa. He's the lucky texter today, and he's getting a free trip aboard the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing. Also, He's getting a SoCal Fishing Maps binder of every map of Southern California, and maybe the most valuable one of them all, 1-year subscription to your saltwater guide.
There you go. All right. Congratulations
John.
for that. Yeah, congratulations. And Al, great show. Super fun having you on our first broadcast with the fan and our brand new stream here and all the different changes we've had to Let's Talk Hookup here with the new year. We want to book a trip with Captain Al Clowers. How do we do it?
They can call me direct, 619-800-3474. That's 619-800-FISH, if you forget it. Or go to my website, CaptainClowers.com.
All right. Thanks, Al. Thanks for
Yep,
being here.
thanks a lot,
And
Pete.
good luck in 2025. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brandon, for stepping in today. And
Thank you for having me.
Brandon and I will be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. We will be on the fan. We will be on the Let's Talk Hookup app. We will be on YouTube and Facebook Live with Valerie Hoperich from Queen Charlotte Safaris. That's going to be a great show. 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning on the fan, on the app, and YouTube and Facebook Live. Thanks to Adam for all he does, and thanks to Jeff for helping us out on the fan, and George at Backbone Media. Appreciate all he did. See you tomorrow.
Nice work, Pete. I appreciate the love.